Girlfriend abruptly announced she was leaving, but then changed her mind, putting it as a joke. Can't shake the feeling of betrayal and confusion. My ex and I have separated. It's weird to say because I'm still confused about everything. A week ago, we were at my place when something just changed in her demeanor. She walked over and simply states, "I'm leaving." I was confused and asked what she meant, and she said something along the lines of me knowing why. I'm confused because a minute ago we were just happy watching shows and bullshitting. Upon further pressing, she says that it just seems like the right thing or something. I get flustered and ask what is wrong, and she sits there silently staring at her phone and only speaking to give me updates about when a rider will arrive. I just stop pressing and sit down and just wait because I can't even explain this. I'm not going to yell, scream or cry. I've just felt the same burning hot feeling and difficulty breathing in my chest when my dog died. Like this was it, and I have nothing to understand why it's happening. All of a sudden, she puts down the phone and exclaims that she changed her mind. I ask what that was about and she giggles almost playfully and says she just wanted to edge a breakup. She gives me her answer, and I just end things there. She immediately regrets it, asking me to reconsider. The thing is, this happened before early in our relationship, and she explained she has an impulsive habit of things. I've only seen this once, and it was when she ghosted me after just starting to date her. Maybe in her defense she was on her period and was experiencing mood swings, but I sent her home and haven't spoken to her in a week until now to get my stuff. Am I going too far? She seemed distraught and hurt, and genuinely meant not to have wanted that. I want her back so badly, but I don't know if I can trust her yet. It's making me sick and I miss them so much. Am I wrong? Can there be something salvage? I know she genuinely loves me, but I'm scared that I'm just being abused. Update 1: I ended up seeing her to pick up stuff and exchange items. She sent me a text to talk, asking if our time apart was enough to reflect on the relationship. She continued to explain that she deserved some type of closure, and that if she doesn't hear from me, we should go our separate ways. We have a short talk on the phone, and I tell her my trust was completely broken. At the time I was on the fence of breaking it off. I return home to grab some of her clothes to exchange. I try to call some friends since I was in tears and had a huge ache in my stomach, but no one was answering, so I just pushed through it and met up. The initial exchange was awkward, and she just thrusts a bag of my clothes toward me and grabs her stuff and abruptly walks off. I call her and asked if she even wanted to talk at all, and she admitted it was kind of rude. We were both sad and teary-eyed, and I could tell she really was hurting. She sits in the passenger seat for a minute and she asks if there was any chance we can be together again. At this point we are both crying. She told me she talked to a friend and sibling and they both told her she deserved it. She has done the same thing to them. She points out all the time we've spent together, 6 really good months, and asked if it means nothing. It did mean everything to me. I sit there for a moment crying and just say that it can't be fixed. I tell her if that I take her back I'd be enabling that behavior. That if we are ever to reconcile, this will have to happen. Otherwise the relationship will continue on a toxic slope, doomed to end horribly. She awkwardly asks if I really think she would do it again, and then admits she realizes she doesn't have much ground to stand on with that comment. I'm sad, I still love her, and I'm devastated to have her leave my life. She truly didn't want to hurt me, but as I've explained earlier in a comment, I was primed by a parent for that kind of manipulation. If I were in a stronger place I would have taken her back, but I have a dying uncle to care for, and it's been a few years since I was hospitalized for trying to depart from this plane of existence and self-harm. I still struggle with severe depression and insomnia. It was truly for my own sanity that I had to leave, because I am already in a place where I struggle to trust and interpret what people say and do. We tell each other that we love each other one last time and that was it. I drove home and didn't really sleep. For the past week I've been very depressed. I haven't slept a few nights, and a lot of them have to do with the emotions welling up from living with my mother. The night my girlfriend tried to edge a breakup, there was a point when she gets in the car and tells me he hates men. I get it, I hate men, but she is crying and I am scared something happened to her. Nothing was wrong. She was upset about comments directed at her Instagram and how she looked, feeling like an object. The comment about hating men kept flashing back, and now I don't know if what she did had any correlation with her behavior. What hurt me the most was the memories it brought back, and I always remembered my mom saying to me, my brother and my father. My mother would hit and scream and terrorize my father. She went after him with a knife once before, and then tried to slash his tires another. They would be constantly fighting and filling the house with anxiety. I would be too wired to sleep properly. They were 2 drug addicts who found each other and decided to have my brother, and one day he left, and then she continued turning her anger at me and my brother. Her moods were always unpredictable. She got involved with a heroin addict that she met in Alcoholics Anonymous, who not only used the house as a place to 13th step my mother, but also to shoot up and buy/sell drugs. Her moods continued to be erratic. She eventually broke up with him, doing the same things as she did to my father but with a whole new layer of insanity directed at us. I could only ever remember my mother as malicious and unpredictable. She would lock me out of the house on cold nights, and would call the cops and make up lies to get them to bully me and harass me or throw me out of the house that we rented even though I was paying for it. They never could, but they did goon up during the talks, and she would do it where it would disrupt either my work or sleep schedule. Right now it sounds so insane to simply say I put up with it because that is absolutely true. I was so used to the abuse and gaslighting. I was so used to everything being so batshit insane. I was just trying to do the right thing while being told I was doing everything wrong. I was bullied at home to go to school and get bullied there. I have issues interacting with people because of it. I'm maladaptive and antisocial. When I meet someone who is interested in me, I get attached, even if they treat me like shit. It just feels like everyone else was given a different set of directions to life. I don't know when someone is being kind, condescending, or wants something from me. I take everything personally, or not personally enough. I have no sense of achievement, and I consistently just feel like a ghost. All these feelings, thoughts and memories from where I lived and what I grew up were flashing in front of my eyes, and I couldn't see anything around me. It was like I was stuck in a movie and my heart was racing. When my ex smiled at me like my mother did when she knew she was fucking with my head, my stomach fell out of my ass. I'm still trying to get a therapist and a psychiatrist. I always have been. I've been burnt and I can't seem to fix myself. I envy everyone and how they can so easily take to therapy and medication, and I cannot. I literally feel like a failure at recovering and getting my shit together. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 5, and later MDD, when I was 12. I have been having small breakdowns and flashbacks throughout the week. I tried going to the club last night with friends, but I got too drunk and sad and was let out. I wasn't sloppy or disruptive or anything, but they just cut me off. My friends came out looking for me and found me crying on the side of the street, and they called me an Uber. I felt so embarrassed for them to have me in their company. I wish they just ignored me and forgot about me, 'cause I had every intention of wandering off into the roads and disappearing forever. I have friends but I don't feel it. I want their affection so badly and I simply can't feel it. Not the love for my aunt or uncle, my brother or them. I know they care but I just can't feel it. When they try to show it to me I feel angry and frustrated. When my friends came to call me an Uber I was crying even harder because in my insane state I could not even fathom that they actually gave a shit about me. I was pissed they left the club and came looking for me. If anyone knows how I can deal with this or what steps I should start taking I would appreciate it. I think something is going on in my head that is very atypical. My mind has been so foggy and racing and I've been slurring my words from lack of sleep. I struggle talking and performing at work. There are times where my ears ring and it feels like they will pop and it feels like my head is going to explode. I often find myself trying to hide from coworkers so somebody doesn't see me in pain or crying. I don't want to go to the hospital because I don't want to be away from my uncle so I can help care for him. I can't spend the money on it, and I don't necessarily believe it will make me better or safer. I know there is support but I'm failing to find the strength to get it, it just seems so insurmountable.